Boom. We're in.
Finally, we're here.
We're here. Alrighty. How's it going, Tim? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, going good. It's been a pretty interesting week. Full on. As you can see, there's some desks behind me. I moved out my way here. We got 100 of these desks from the old Vodafone call center that shut down. Just the desktops, and then we're just going to turn them all into custom desks and sell them and use some of them for our shared space here. So yeah, that's what I've been doing the past few days, just in a trailer going up and down the State Highway 1. Yeah. Oh, look at that! I've got some morning hair going on, man. I've got some hat hair or something going on here. Woo!
You have to fix that up for the camera.
100%. Sweet, man. So I'm Alex. I am the founder of the Outspoken Majority and the Outspoken New Zealand. We have kind of 3 labels at the moment, I guess, or subsidiaries, if you want to call it that. Basically, the Outspoken Majority is all about financial education, educating people about money, also helping them get back into jobs, making plans for their future. It's more like life coaching and education rather than financial consultancy or anything like that. Then we've got the Outspoken Media, which is what we're on now, making a podcast, doing a bit of music production, things like that. And we've actually got a record label in here as well. E4 Records is a West Auckland-based record label, and they're sharing the space with us here, so it's been pretty cool meeting those guys and working with them. And we've got the Outspoken Gaming, which is our newest venture, but it hasn't really been set up yet. And that's just to get a whole bunch of gamers in here doing live streams and, yeah, things like that. So if ever people are interested, let me know. Alright, so I'll hand that over to you, Tim, man. Tell us a bit about yourself.
I run my own company. I am also starting a non-profit with a few of my friends, hoping to launch within the next few weeks. I do vocal training with some politicians, high-paid salesmen, that sort of stuff. I also powerlift as well. So very, very busy these days.
Yeah.
The national competition coming up shortly. It's very busy, especially with the powerlifting training hours every day. But I love it.
That's awesome, man. And out of those things, if you could rank them, like what's the thing that takes up the most of your time that you're currently putting the most into?
Definitely the powerlifting right now. It gives me so much drive that last year I had an atrophied arm. I couldn't use it, couldn't open a door with it. I couldn't lift 500 grams with my left arm. Through the rehab facility that I work out of, they have helped me completely rehab my shoulder and build enough muscle to the point where I now
Oh, we are having some technical issues, guys. I apologize. Things are slowing right down. Very strange. Our internet is normally super fast.
World record in my federation within just over a year. So it's such an amazing journey.
Tim, we've lost Tim. Are you back? No? Alright. I've just had to drop that call because we were having some technical issues where the internet, not on our end, I think, because we've got pretty fast fibre here, was cutting out. So I'm just going to invite Tim back. I apologise for this. No. Okay, well that's a pain, isn't it? Good old Zoom. Actually, yep. Okay, let's end this meeting. End meeting for all. Back into Zoom. Don't you just love it? Technology. Great. Alrighty, let's try this again. Hello, hello.
Hello. Back in.
We it's very interesting. That's alright. Technology, eh? It happens.
Fun.
Great fun. So I believe where it cut off there was when you were getting into the powerlifting, man, so I'll let you start on that again. I believe where it cut off is you were talking about physio, you had an injury, and that's where we got up to.
So about a year ago or so, well, I mean, I had an atrophied arm for, would have been around 4 or 5 years, and eventually got kind of sick of it, went to the rehab facility, Tutonu, over in Hamilton, and within the last year, they've gotten me to the point where I've completely rehabbed my shoulder, and now I hold a national record in my federation, and in 2 months or so, I will hold the world record in my federation as well. So it's
Wow.
an amazing feeling to go from, you know, where I was to where I am now in such a short time span. It really shows what can happen when you have people looking out for you and who are there to help you, not just make money.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. That is one hell of a recovery story. Yeah.
Yeah.
To get back at it that quickly, that takes a lot of effort. Like, I haven't had anything that bad happen. I used to do a bit of boxing for fitness, and I've torn my rotator cuff a few times from doing some stupid things. Yeah, I actually didn't know I tore it either. I went to a physio once, and they said basically your whole like deltoid hair and like in your rotator cuff is just all scar tissue. So yeah, that would have been from when I was young and dumb and doing weights without really knowing what I was doing, and also doing boxing, and I was in the tire industry for like 10 years lifting wheels every day and tires. So yeah, they basically told me get a tennis ball, lean it against the wall and just
roll it around.
yeah, and that's helped a lot, man. So it's not so bad now, but it was painful for a few years.
I can imagine, yeah. The rehab is not a lot of fun. That, hands down, was the most painful period of my life. But it feels amazing to have come out the other side of it, and now that I'm past that, I can see the massive benefit of going through that with the strength of character and all those sort of things to push through that pain and, well, like where I am now. So, yeah, no, it feels really amazing.
So what sort of lifts do you hold a record in? Are they specific lifts?
Yes, so right now I am a single lift. I do deadlift. I'm only around 54 kgs, and my deadlift, well, my record is at 125, so just over double my weight. Hoping to push that to 145 by the Nationals so I can go to the World Championship and represent New Zealand. So it'll be hard.
Wow,
Very
man.
hard.
That's a lot of weight even for someone who weighs like 80. Yeah, that's a solid lift, man. Awesome. I hope you make it there. I'm pretty sure you will. You seem to have quite a solid work ethic going on there, man. 100%.
Spend a lot of time in the gym. They always joke around that I should just move in there because I'm there, well, every day of the week and around an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. So a lot of effort goes into it, but it'll all pay off as it already has.
Do you mind me asking you, if it's not too a personal question, in that weight, what sort of height would you be sitting at right now?
I'm 5'9".
So you're not the shortest dude. That's the point. 5'9" isn't incredibly short by any standards. It's
Ow. I'm quite tall, okay.
Yeah. It's pretty average.
Massive,
but it is up there for a man. It's average or at least above average. Yeah. So yeah. What's up, Zachary? This is Zach from E4, man. He's the promo guy for E4. Zach, we're just having a podcast with Tim Andrews, man.
I know exactly who he is.
You know who he is?
Yeah. How's it? Oh.
Man. Yeah.
Oh. Fucking how many discs do we have?
Yeah, he's panicking over the amount of desks we have here, man. Like, I don't know if you can. I'll try to show you with the camera. See that? And that is only about a third of them. So yeah, it is getting rather full. Well, we've got space here, so we're going to use it. And the owner of E4, he is a very hands-on dude, man. He can build. He builds entire record studios by hand, or he can build at least the furnishings and the fixtures. He can just build a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, so he makes custom desks, with speaker holders, cable. He does all the cabling. He'll do like inbuilt power sockets, all this type of thing as well. So yeah, it's quite cool, man. Oh. Are we having issues again? I might just change to Facebook. Oh, there we go. It's come back. Can you hear me? No. We're having issues again. Let's give it a second.
My video is still frozen, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
5-10 minutes of fucking rowdy noise.
There we go, it's all come back to me.
Sorry?
You're going to get about 5-10 minutes of rowdy ass noise and see.
If you can close the door, man, because I'm doing a podcast at the moment.
But how long's the podcast?
It goes for another, like, half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you're able to close the door, then it should be fine.
Yeah, that door closed pretty much keeps a lot of sound there.
Yeah.
Give it a bang on the door, babe, because it guarantees there's more noise than you can handle.
That's fine. you got work to do, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, we have a tradie here. He's doing they're making a photography room, like a videography room. So they're making a room that has no corners. Hold on. Is that too noisy for you? Is that fine? Yeah. Okay. There's a little bit of background noise, but we can hear each other, so that's fine. But basically, they're making a photography room there that has no corners. So they're making the room just like a kind of round room. So no matter, and they're painting the whole thing white. The floor's white, the wall's white. So yeah, it's just a good room for photography. And they're going to put a green screen, do some professional videos and some video editing. I don't know too much about the site. I just like rambling off about it and try to put things out there that we have going on. So yeah.
To try and make it sound as good as possible. Hey, I mean, it does sound fun, and it also sounds like it'd be great to take a skateboard in there as well. I mean, it's all rounded edges, just grab a skateboard and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely do that. Okay, I'm just going to share this to my timeline while I've got some time. Share, write a post. Public. Just start spamming it everywhere, man. I'm not Joe Rogan, I don't have a JB to do this with me, so I've got to do it myself. Sorry, guys.
Just get Zachary to be your Jamie.
That is true. Just start sharing it to a few New Zealand pages. Ones with 50,000, 60,000 people. Alright, that'll probably do. Start a watch party, that'll help. Boom. Alright, man. Sweet. So with your vocal coaching, I want to ask about that because that's something that kind of interests me. Who do you do vocal coaching for? Is it just anyone who's willing to ask for the help, basically?
Yeah, definitely. So I started out, would have been about a year ago or so, with coaching a few political candidates when they were first announcing their candidacy. I noticed that there was a lot of things they could improve with their vocals and with their overall demeanour. So I got in touch with them and started helping them. And few months, that was a massive change. And from there, I branched out to helping with insurance brokers, some car salesmen. Just, anyone who wants the help to get better vocals and to get better at speaking, I guess. That's just something that I can help with, whether it's through your actual voice itself or through the processes that you do beforehand with the actual mechanics of how you're doing it. There's a lot of different aspects to it, but overall, I love it, yeah. the way, I guess the tagline of what I use is helping people hear you, not just your words. So to cut through where a lot of people tend to go, helping them to build the confidence to skip past that and to enable them to say what they want to say in the way they want to say it, to add the genuineness to their voice. All those sort of things, yeah.
That's awesome, man. I might have to hit you up sometime because I need some work myself.
Yeah,
but yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of easy tips that you can do with your everyday, add into your everyday routine that can help you a lot with those sort of things. Even diaphragmatic breathing helps so much, especially when you're feeling nervous, feeling stressed. If you use your diaphragmatic breathing, then you get more calm as you're speaking, which, for obvious reasons, is it's very beneficial.
Yes. Well, I definitely need to learn that because I find I don't mind speaking in front of people or in front of groups, but I find that if I'm trying to read off something, or normally I just go off the top of my head to be honest, but I try to pause and think what I'm going to say, but sometimes I'll get into this flow where I'm just going 100 miles an hour, or it feels like that in my head, and then I start tripping over, or I start feeling stressed like you were saying. So yeah, that sounds pretty beneficial for people to learn. I've heard...
Sorry?
I've heard that you... I'll let you finish first, and then I'll ask that question.
Okay, so one of the main benefits of the diaphragmatic breathing is to actually help exactly like what you're saying. Because a lot of people, the reason why they have to fill their speech with ums and ahs and filler things is because they're speaking too fast for their brain to keep up. So, if you use your diaphragmatic breathing, you slow your voice down, you drop it down as well so it sounds deeper. That way, as you're speaking, you can think about what you're going to say next, and after that as well. And there's also the whole part that it pulls on your vagus nerve, which causes oxytocin in your brain, which is an anti-anxiety hormone. So there's a lot of different things that it plays with, but overall, it's an amazing technique to learn, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. It's like speaking to a scientist on voice. Yeah.
It's something I've been learning about for many years. I was a telemarketer since 16, so I've put a lot of effort into learning this whole aspect of things and getting better. Because as you can imagine, if you pick up the phone and you realize you're speaking to a 16-year-old, you're not going to buy a house off him. You're not going to talk to him about real estate. So I learned very quickly on how to change and to make my voice the way it is now.
That's awesome, man. And then did you ever go into any sort of field of study or training, or is it all self-taught mostly?
So I have liaised with quite a few... I've actually forgotten the name of them. The doctors who specifically specialize in the vocals, and liaise with them to understand more of the science side and the actual, physiological side of it. Because I can understand why things or how things work, but I don't understand why they work. So they're the ones to explain to me, especially with the actual physiological response when it comes to the vagus nerve and with the diaphragmatic breathing and all of those sort of things. They explain to me how tension affects your body and why when you're voice is like, I pitch like this, or things like that. So they've been very instrumental to giving me the background to understand why what works, why it works.
Interesting. One question I did want to ask, man, because this interests me a lot, is that you have told me that you have even taught politicians how to speak and deliver speeches. Is this correct?
Yes, definitely. I won't get into any particulars with that to kind of help their privacy.
Yeah.
But that's actually my main focus. Is I see a massive issue within New Zealand that a lot of the bigger parties, they have trained orators. They've been in politics for 30, 40, 50 years. They're experienced in this. So the newcomers to the game, places like I mean, not that I may personally support them, but things like New Conservative or Actual Top, even smaller parties, they're typically made up of people who aren't experienced politicians. They're not used to this public speaking. So when they speak, no one really listens. And that's instrumental, getting people to listen is instrumental to making our entire political system work. MMP is based around multiple different parties. So if we're not voting for multiple different parties, if we're just voting for National or Labour, our political system, it doesn't work. So that's the main reason why I got into this, is to make our system, our political system, more democratic and work better. And at the end of the day, I may not personally support the politics of politicians that I teach, but I support their right to be able to say that. And I support that people have the right and should have the ability to listen to them and support who they wish. That's what our entire system is based off of, and that's what I'm trying to enable and support in what I do.
100%, I agree with that fully. Like, there's people in my life, lots of people I don't agree with, but the point is, they have the right to say it, you have the right to your opinions, so long as you're not harming anyone in a certain manner. But yes, I fully support that, man. That sounds like a great thing, actually. I never thought of it like that. Like, if you taught people to speak properly, it actually helps the democratic process, or it sort of levels the playing field yeah. That's quite an interesting perspective.
That's the way I see it, yeah. Is like leveling the playing field, because, you know, National Labour, they've got all these experienced MPs. Like, the best example would be Top. When they would come out, they don't have, you know, their MPs, they're not experienced really, so they aren't nearly as good at orating as these experienced guys. So they're nervous, they speak fast, they don't get what they want to say through to the viewer, which obviously means that most viewers, they tune out, they don't listen to them because they would need to put more effort into it. So I'm trying to help the politicians remove the restrictions on people understanding them and people listening to them, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's some great work. I honestly wish that I had a voice that could get everyone to listen to me. I'm getting there though. If you saw me like 2 years ago, I was very reserved and quiet. I still have quite...
He wouldn't fucking speak a word.
See, he knows. I used to be, I have, and I still have and struggle with like what I feel in my head, and also people tell me is like a monotonous tone. So that's something I've always struggled with. I don't mind having a deep voice, a deeper voice. I don't mind it, but yeah, some people, they definitely have said some things. Well, that's alright, man. We shall get there. It's all about learning and just being open-minded. You know, if you think you're the best speaker in the world or the best at anything in the world, well, you've got nothing left to learn, mate. You're not going to grow as a person or change anything about you. So
you're bottlenecking yourself.
So that's this mentality I've tried to take recently. Well, I've taken it for a while. I'm just being more sort of laser focused with it now. So yeah.
Definitely, and especially with having a deep voice for males, that's actually a good thing, because having a deep voice shows command, it shows respect, that it's more masculine, which, for obvious reasons, that's what people like to see and like to listen to.
Unless if your voice breaks, then that's all gone out the window.
Not so much then. Yeah, exactly. You're getting, going through your second puberty, that's not exactly ideal for the vocal side of things.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me, not for a little while, but it does happen. It actually tends to happen sometimes if I'm speaking far too much, or if I'm actually very stressed out, then a little comes out and people are just like, Where the fuck did that come from? Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It is pretty emasculating.
Around it or something?
Yeah, it is pretty emasculating when that happens, but you just laugh it off and go, oh, well, I thought I went through puberty when I was like 14, 15, but you know, thanks for having another crack at it, genes, or whatever the fuck is causing it. I don't know.
Late bloomer.
Yeah. Also, we swear on this podcast, just so you guys know. Nothing wrong with that. But yes.
This is a PG-13 podcast, guys.
It was, until very recently. Yeah. No, that's fine. Sweet, man. Was there anything else you wanted to chat about, bring up?
No, it was mainly just the non-profit as well. That one is so much. I'm spending so much time on it recently because it's very dear to my heart. That we're hopefully going to be launching in the next few weeks. It's called Planty, and we're selling indoor house plants, hopefully branching out to just all house plants. But right now we're starting with indoor house plants to raise funds to build public access forests across New Zealand, and in doing so utilize disabled people, provide employment opportunities for disabled people to plant these forests and to give them a sense of fulfillment. Because one of my friends, he has fetal alcohol syndrome, which it limits the things that he can do, but he's an amazing person. He's an incredibly hard worker, but a lot of employers, when they see that he has a mental disability, that they just immediately, they take back and they go, oh, don't want a bar of it. And that's one thing that we are trying to help with. So with these planting opportunities, with the job opportunities, we're hoping to get these guys into work, provide them opportunities, so once the planting's finished and we move on to another forest, then we can those people can then go to the next employers, use us as references, and we can say, look, yes, they do have these disabilities that we worked around, but they are absolutely amazing. They're hard workers. They put their all into it, and that's what we're trying to do, is provide these opportunities for these everyday people. They want jobs. They want to be able to work and have a sense of fulfillment, but because of these issues that they've got, it's very hard for them to get these jobs and to get these opportunities. So that's what we're trying to do. And I mean, there's so much more that we're trying to do with building these forests, with building a sense of interconnectedness with the environment, with everyday people, because like say in Auckland, there's not many native forests around there, so a lot of people won't have the opportunity to feel that interconnectedness. And the people who would venture over to a forest, they're the ones who already feel that desire to be there. So we're trying to build these forests near metropolitan centres, so everyday people, they don't have this restriction, this barrier to visiting nature, to visiting our native land, our native forests, and feeling that interconnectedness, which our hope is that will trickle down to the next generation. So for the next generation, we don't have to teach people to feel an interconnectedness with the environment. They're born in doing so. So we have we don't have all these policies where we're destroying our environment, destroying our forests and our nature just to get a bit of money. And that's the hope.
That's an awesome goal, man. That's exactly why I set you up with my friend Callan to have a chat, because his purpose is to reforest the country as well. He was on our first ever podcast last week, I believe, possibly 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and I like that you guys have similar passions. I also fully agree with that, like in a environmentalist sense, but also in a sense that people need to reconnect with their more basic human desires or needs, and I feel that the land is one of them, man, and that a lot of people don't really realize or understand, because of the society we live in now, how important the land actually is.
Exactly, yeah. I actually had a call with Callum, it would have been last week or so, and yeah, our desires align perfectly, so we will be doing work ongoing as well. But yeah, that's exactly it, that people don't realize the benefits that plants and nature have. Even so much as having a plant on your desk can increase your productivity by up to 15%, increases your creativity, and can actually help you be healthier. So even for work-at-home professionals in the office, there's always tangible reasons to have plants around. So that's our hope is to, not just with the planting side, but then also with the getting plants into the offices. We just want plants everywhere. We want everyone to be crazy cat ladies, but with plants. So just everything. That's the goal.
Go full hipster.
Exactly, yes. That's the goal. So just plants everywhere. You walk into someone's house, you're stepping over a plant. There's plants here and there, they're all over. That's the hope. Now, we probably won't get there, but that's all right, because in trying to do that, we're still going to do a lot of good. And that's the goal in any case. It's the journey to get there. And yeah, it's really amazing. One of my friends came to me with this idea, would have been about a month, 2 months ago now, and as soon as I heard it, I fell in love with it. That it speaks so much to me that years ago I would have been in year 5 or something, doing one of those everyday school trips. We went to Mangatautori, which is a pest-free reserve over in Cambridge, and we went there, and it is gorgeous, mate. It is drop-dead gorgeous. These native birds around, just everything, and it is amazing. And that's what sparked my love of the native forests in New Zealand. And so as soon as he brought this idea up to me, I loved it, because I can see a way to bring that, but not just in these little reserves all around, but to bring it throughout New Zealand and closer to metropolitan centres, so people can just go, hey, you know what, I want to have a picnic, let's go there. Instead of just going to a park or in your backyard. Yeah.
100%. That sounds awesome, man. Like, I definitely want to fast forward like 50 to 100 years in the future and see where this is, where it goes. Yeah. Have you ever been to the Waitakere Ranges out West Auckland?
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Absolutely amazing. Went there for I think it was like a high school trip, something like that. Amazing. That.
And the video has cut again. Sorry guys, we're having technical issues right now, as I think old Tim's internet is possibly on Wi-Fi. Our 5 is doing alright, but we'll try and get him back in just a second. Interesting.
Back. No idea what's going on with the internet connection today.
Nah, you got back. Awesome. I almost was trying to invite you back because I thought you dropped out. But that's cool. I found a faster way to do it, which is just put you in the waiting room and then wait for it to sort itself out and then invite you back. That seems to work. So if it happens again, we know what to do now.
That's the one.
You got up to, you went to the Waitakere Ranges on a school trip.
Yeah, so years ago went to the Waitakere Ranges, they're absolutely gorgeous. And it's the same as in Thameslink and Coromandel. You could just be driving, and then all of a sudden, it's like you're back in the 1400s, centuries ago, and it's just beautiful native land. Having it just in these little out-of-the-way ranges, these out-of-the-way places to bring it. So, say you're in Auckland, you could go for maybe a half-an-hour drive, 20-minute drive, and you're in the forest. That's the hope. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a bit biased because I'm a Westie, and all us boys here, we're Westies. So we spend a lot of time up there. We love going to Piha, Muriwai, all those places. Beautiful. I honestly I like both, but I really have a soft spot for the beaches, man. I haven't travelled all over the world yet, but I still believe that some beaches in New Zealand are some of the best in the world, man. Especially those West Coast ones. You don't see things like that around often with black sand like that. And it's pretty awesome.
Then again, I can't say I was
And when it gets the old sprint to the water, Well, I'm just a bit of a bogan, mate, so I just wear shoes. That solves that problem. Take the shoes off once I sit down on my towel. That's how a lot of people do it. Some people don't. I'm like, why are you going to get your feet burned or sunburned? Just walk into the sand, man. I just walk there. I know people look at me funny, but I just walk there in jeans and shoes, and then I have my swimming clothes underneath, man. I just take it off once I'm on my towel.
People are like, whoa, hey, buddy, come on, there's dangerous over there.
Oh, they're quite a walk away, man. Like if you go to Piha or something, if you're out in the middle of the beach, like the actual changing room is still a few hundred meters from where you're sitting on the sand. It's a bit of a walk, especially in that hot sand, man, like you're talking about. Nah, no way. One of my other favorite beaches in the country, the Park Country Beach Cove, and that's more like a tourist attraction than an actual beach. It's like a cave in the Coromandel. Have you ever been to there? The Season Cove is basically where the water beach has cut through this rock face from water erosion. So the beach runs straight through a cave and out the other side, and the beach continues. And it's this insane tourist attraction, man. It's rated one of the top photography places for a beach in the world, basically. It's people go there all the time just to check out just the scenery, man. I don't know if I can share my screen here and show people. I will try just a second. I'll see if they'll be able to see anyway. I'll just show people what I mean. So if you guys need to go to I should bring you in on this, man. That's just sad. Oh yeah, I'm sharing my screen now. So you see here, it just runs straight through the caving system. It's a beautiful beach, man. There's an aerial view of it there. It just goes straight through. And people have weddings there, they get married, there's a car park up the top. You can either access it by ferry or access it by ferry if you're lazy, or you can do like about it only takes like 20 minutes, man, 20 minutes to walk down. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, oh, I want to get the ferry. You know, I was like, come on, do the walk. It's like only 20 minutes if you can walk down there. You know, the signs always say like 40 minutes to an hour, but that's like at a very slow walking pace. But if you power walk it down, yeah, it's downhill. Your speed is going down there. So yeah. And also my other favourite beach would have to be Waihee Beach, which is also in Coromandel. That is beautiful. Like I went there a lot as a kid. Beautiful surf beach. If you are a good swimmer, it's a very fun beach. I've gotten taken out in a few rips a couple of times there, but I'm lucky enough that I was taught how to navigate rips from a young age. So yeah, I just let it take me out, didn't panic, got behind the wave breaks and just swam parallel to the shore and then just swam back in the shore. My mother at the time was like shitting herself and she's like, oh shit, like where's he gone? Couldn't see me, and I ended up like 500 meters down the beach that way. But yeah, I made it back. But you know, that's one thing actually that I reckon there needs to be more emphasis on, and for the safety in this country. There's not enough, like even more bases in school sometimes in some schools, but it's not consistent, man. And with the amount of water we have in this country, especially for immigrants and stuff, there's a lot of immigrants who are not putting them down, but they come from landlocked countries, some of them, and they get into trouble in our beaches, either out of naivety or because someone has given them wrong information and they've gone to quite a dangerous beach like Bihar, for example, without really understanding the conditions. It can turn out deadly, man, like if you really don't understand how to navigate water. And Bihar especially is one of those beaches that even I just don't trust going out far in that beach, man. Like people who are confident surfers and that, they sometimes get in trouble. But a lot of them, you know, I trust them in the water more than myself. The locals especially, but when you see a body of water like that moves like that, it's normally not a good sign. Yeah, it's like a suction vacuum. Like when the tide's going out, you can feel the power of it. Like even if you just stand in ankle deep water there in an outgoing tide, you can feel it just pulling all the sand past your feet in the water, and it also pulls you. It also pulls you if you stand out far enough. So yeah, it's one of those beaches where it's just like, nah, I'm not gonna, like, I'll go there for a casual swim, but I'm not going out like far, and I'm definitely not gonna surf because I don't really know how, but also I don't want to end up out there, man. Not worth the risk.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Awesome, man. How are we doing for time? Do you still have some time left?
No, sorry, I do need to jump off.
Not a problem, man. It's been good talking to you. We've got lots of time slots open, man. So if you ever wanted to jump back on, you had anything else you wanted to chat about sometime, I'd love to have you back on. We have some good conversations. I enjoyed it actually. So yeah, it's nice talking to you. And this will be re-uploaded. Everyone who's watching, this will be re-uploaded on Twitch, and so B_outspoken_ is our Twitch, and on the Outspoken Media on Facebook. If you go to that page, the Outspoken Media NZ on Facebook, it will be uploaded here as well for future viewings. Sweet.
Alex, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, you too, Tim. It's been good talking to you. All right, awesome. Catch you later. Bye now.